Greetings, Internet. My name is Chris, and this is my guide on how to do a Magicka Dragonknight DPS for PvE. I've called it the Smoulder because Smoulder is a cool word, so that's why. Also, Smoulder has to do with fire, I guess, so sort of related. But yeah, this is basically just my take on Magicka Dragonknight. It's probably not the best, but I've been spending a lot more time on this than with the previous Templar PvP build, just because I want to be able to offer some kind of insight into what the hell you gotta do with this setup. For clarity's sake, yes, I have beaten Maw with this setup. I think I got 40 or 41k DPS on the run where I beat it. I have it recorded. I'll show it a little bit later on in this video and do some commentary over it. I think the maximum I could do right now without changing my gear quality or anything would be like maybe 43 in Maw. It's not, that's not the absolute best compared to what you might see other players do, but I think it's still pretty good in terms of all the gear I'm running. It's still like really nice DPS. Anyway, so in terms of gear, I think we should cover that first. I'm running 2 pieces of Grothar. You want divines, of course, on all your gear. You do sort of also want to have medium and heavy for more max magicka, but I don't have a medium shoulder with divines. Then we have 5 pieces of burning spellweave. My chest piece is reinforced because I haven't been able to get a divines one yet. I've been only farming it, for fucking 3 weeks. Just have terrible luck in there. It's awful. But yeah, so Grothar is basically the 2 piece is you have a 10% chance to spawn a pool of lava. And it's nice because it's fire damage. There is also Valkynscoria, but it doesn't perform as well. And Grothar is a lot better for AoE DPS. Also single target. Burning Spellweave is basically the 5 piece. You have a 20% chance to apply the burning status on an enemy and increase your spell damage for almost 600 when you do damage with flame abilities, which is really good. It's really nice. It has a 4-second downtime, so it lasts for 8 seconds and the cooldown is 12, which means you can't have 100% uptime. Usually this becomes around 60% if you proc it as much as you can. The highest I've seen it do is 61%. But yeah, even then, 61% is really good. If you calculated that, it would be 572 times 0.6, which is 343. So it does like, if you want to count it out over the entire time it's up, it does about 343 spell damage, which is still a lot more than Juliana's, which I think is Juliana's 200 or 300. Still, it's better than that. Plus, it gives you higher burst if you need higher burst. Then we have 3 rings of Infallible Aether, all with spell damage on them, of course. And the reason why we have this is because it gives 2 pieces crit. That's about 3% crit, I think, from the 2 piece. 3 piece is Minor Slayer, which is 5% more damage to dungeon and trial monsters. I think, isn't it all monsters? Actually, I'm not sure. And then our staves are basically just crafted sharpened staves. The best would be to have an Infallible Aether Inferno Staff sharpened, but I can't seem to get it to drop. You could also alternatively have Maelstrom sharpened staves, if you do have those, because they also do give spell damage. But I'm not gonna run the arena enough to get that because I've only done it, like I think I've only done the Maelstrom Arena like 40 times, and I've yet to get it. So like I don't care. I don't like the place enough to run it that much. The what's it called? Infallible Aether Gear, the jewelry, you get that from all trials except Maw, normal and veteran. It's a really low chance to get it on normal, so just do veteran if you want to get these. Burning Spellweave you get from City of Ash, which is in Green Shade. And I recommend just doing City of Ash 1. You see, it's north of Marbrook. Just do City of Ash 1 on normal. You could do it by yourself, basically. That's how I've been farming mine. Of course, if you do it with a friend, there's a higher drop chance on everything. Yes. Grothar, you get the helm from Vault of Madness in Cold Harbor, which is north of the Hollow City. The shoulder piece of Grothar you get from the third chest. So the chest all the way to the right at the Undaunted Enclaves, and you can open them with Undaunted keys you get from the pledges, daily pledges. But yeah, I haven't been fortunate enough to get a Divine's medium shoulder, because RNG is a pain in the ass. But yeah. Okay. Abilities. Our front bar, we have Molten Whip, Engulfing Flames, Burning Embers, Flames of Oblivion, Inner Light, Shooting Star. Back bar is Eruption, Blockade of Fire, Flames of Oblivion. 4 spot can be whatever. Right now I have Elemental Drain here because I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of my rotation. And then Inner Light again. Oh yeah, and then Standard of Might. You really only want to use the standard whenever you drop an ultimate. It's way better than Meteor in terms of DPS, because it boosts your damage done by where is it? Yeah, it boosts your damage done by 15% and reduces damage done by 15 as well, which is really nice, on top of just doing a lot of damage. I'm not sure how much it does per, but it's still really good. You only want to use the Meteor if you know you don't have enough time to build the banner before a boss dies, for example. Or if you know the Shooting Star will refund itself almost immediately if you hit a lot of ads in a group or something like that. Also, the reason why we have Shooting Star and not Ice Comet is because Shooting Star is fire damage, and Shooting Star regenerates 12 ultimate for each enemy hit when you have it maxed out, that's a lot. If you hit 10 enemies, it does 120 ultimate returned, and then you can almost drop it immediately again, which is really nice. It's really nice. Plus it's fire damage, so it scales with all your passives. As I said, the 4 slot is whatever. Sometimes I run Molten Armaments in there, so I can buff up before we start a fight, and then later on in the fight drink my potion once the buff is about to run out. Or spell damage potion specifically. And the reason I do that is just because Magicka Dragonknight has terrible sustain. Yes. If I were to run the last boss in Maw, I would have an Ulm in there instead. If I were to do the second boss in Maw, like the twins, I would have chains instead. So it's just whatever suits the situation you're in. Usually I just run the Molten Armaments there, because I usually don't do content where I want to use spell damage potions on it. I'm sort of how do you say it? I don't really want to spend potions unless it's something where I really care a lot about the DPS I'm getting, because it's fairly easy to weave in Molten Armaments when you do your rotation. Anyway, the rotation we are going to use, like the way you want to use this rotation, is basically just do like so. So you want to start off with your banner if you have one ready. If you don't, you just do Eruption, Blockade of Fire, Flames of Oblivion, then you swap bar. You want to do Flames and then swap, so your animation cancel it by swapping. Then you do the Flame Breath. Then you do Burning Embers, or the Claw. Then you do the Whip 3 times, swap back. You do the Blockade of Fire again, Flames of Oblivion. Of course, you want to animation cancel it when you swap bars. Breath again, Claw, 3 whips, back, Eruption, Path, Flames of Oblivion, Breath, Claw, 3 whips, back. And you just do that. And then every second time you come back, you refresh the Eruption. Because the Eruption lasts for 18 seconds and the Blockade of Fire lasts for 8. So that's why we do it like that. And then of course you want to drop your standard whenever it's ready. Let me just try and show you that in action, what I just did. We're not gonna go for any cool DPS here. You want to try and light attack in between all attacks, especially the whip. This go around I'm also gonna rebuff Elemental Drain. Elemental Drain has a 20-second duration, which is why we do it like that. I think I might have skipped the whip there. You can see right now I'm running out of resources, which is something really annoying with Dragonknights. They're really good DPS if you get babied by the group you're in, like if they have orbs and stuff. If they don't, it's really difficult to sustain your Magicka. At least I've found. But yeah, so that's how you do that rotation. You can see I got, what, 26 or something. The highest I've been able to get without any buffs other than orbs and elemental drain is 29, and that was with the same setup I'm running now. Obviously I had a potion on and everything. You can see something that's funny. So they did a nerf to all proc sets with Homestead, which made the which made all proc sets basically have no crit chance. But the thing is, Grothar is a proc set, and you can see it has 14.3% crit. Usually it hovers around 13, and I don't understand it really, because I'm not sure what it's getting the crit from, but it is critting sometimes. And in terms of DPS, it ends up doing between 1.5 to 2k. Usually when you have a lot of buffs, it'll do over 2k single target. But yeah. Alright. I think that was it. Now I'm going to show you a clip from Maw where I DPS the last boss. It's going to be a little bit laggy, probably, because, I don't know, like they have not optimized the game in I don't know how long. It's just been getting worse and worse. Like the game is extremely laggy at this point. It's not like I've changed computer. It's not like my computer's gotten worse in a course of 6 months. It's just the fact that they've not optimized the content they've dropped, and it's it's kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest. Because I feel like, especially with Homestead, the home stuff is really nice, but that's all that was. They only added the homing, housing, the homing. They only added the housing to the game, and they didn't even bother fixing all the old bugs and stuff. It's really annoying. Anyway, I'm not here to rant about that right now. But yeah, so here's a clip from the last boss of Maw where I'm DPSing with this same tune and setup. Alright, as I said, this clip might be a little bit laggy. I haven't actually watched it back before. I do make quite a few mistakes, which is why I only get like, what is it, like 41 or something, 40k or something. I could, if I hadn't made any mistakes, I could have gotten probably 43. Obviously, once I gold out my Burning Spell Weave and my Grothar, once I get that final Divine's piece I need, it's going to be a lot better. But yeah, I mean, it's still definitely capable of doing Maw really well. You know, I wasn't dying all the time, but then again, dying I think is more down to just knowing mechanics and stuff. But like, you know, able to do a lot of DPS and able to, what I at least felt like was doing comparable DPS to everyone else in the group. You know, so like this setup, even though it might seem really simple, is able to, you know, do DPS that won't embarrass you when you run serious groups. You know, I don't do serious content that often. You know, I certainly enjoy it. Also, I'm getting flung back a lot. I don't know if you noticed that. And there, the boss lost aggro, or the tank lost aggro, I mean. So which slowed down DPS a bit, as you might see. It's down to 40 now from 45. But yeah. Hopefully you can just like sort of see what it's all about right here. I don't think I'm gonna show you the entire clip because that would be kind of weird, I feel like. Anyway, let's go back and just check out CP and Mundus Stone before we end the clip. Alright, so I'm just going to show you my CP, my Mundus Stone. You see Mundus Stone right here is Thief for crit. How much crit is that actually? Yeah, it's like what, 15, 16, thereabouts. Yeah, it's about 15, I think. 15% crit I get right now. I think if you have legendary Divine's pieces on all of it, it's like 17.5, something like that. Which is a lot. And the reason why I went crit over Shadow is simply just because it did more DPS on the test I did. Yeah, they changed crit damage a little bit, like some of the buffs. So it seems to not be performing as well for some reason now, which might also be why the trap wasn't really doing that much for me. Right, CP. Also, all my attributes are in Magicka, in case you're wondering. This is my stat lineup if you want to check it out real quick. Magic recovery isn't that great, but whatever. It would be a little bit higher if I had a medium armor shoulder, because then I would get the full benefits of the Undaunted Metal. Anyway, champion points. In the green tree, I have 100 in Magician and 100 in Arcanist. In the blue, I have 100 in Elemental Expert, 49 in Elfborn, 1 in Staff Expert, and 50 in Thaumaturge. This is kind of a random setup. It is probably a better way to set it up, but I've never been one for messing around with champion points that much. In the red one, in red tree, I have 30 in Spell Shield, and I have 85 in Hardy and Elemental Defender. Putting this many points in both of them seems to do really well, regardless on what tune I'm on. A lot of people also put stuff in Thick Skin, some put stuff in Light Armor Focus. It doesn't really matter that much to me. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see, is there anything else to cover? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful if you play Magicka Dragonknight. See ya.